What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you are a first timer to the channel, then welcome to you guys. We are about to change the way that you guys trade in the stock market. We're going to teach you how to be more profitable, more consistent in your trading. We're going to teach you this strategy, and really I want you to immerse yourself in it and really take notes and take notice of what we're doing here and really how simple this strategy is to garner profits back into your account. So if you want more of this stuff, guys, make sure you're subscribed down below. Click that bell. That bell sends out the notifications for when I send out videos just like this one. This is our watch list for Wednesday, November 16th. And I send these videos out for you guys for free every single day. The watch lists come out usually around the same time every day, mid-evening, around 5 o'clock Mountain. That would be 7 o'clock Eastern. So make sure you're clicking that bell. It'll give you the notifications for when they are sent out. I do top fives within these playlists as well. Those can be found with the Griswold Gold membership, which is in my Discord. If you want the link to that Discord, go check it out down below. And then everything I offer you guys for free or fee-based is in that Discord. Last thing I want to go through here before we start, guys, is this screen that you see is called Trading View. So it's how I put all my triggers, all my targets, all my broadening formations on my charts. It's how I track everything throughout the day. If you're looking for something like this, if you've never tried Trading View before, there's a link in the description. That link will give you a free 30-day trial to their subscription-based services. Now, they do have a free service for you guys, but that link will give you 30 days to their subscription-based services for free. And then if you decide to use one of those sub-services, you get up to $30 off of that subscription. So make sure you're clicking on that link and checking that out. Let's get through these watch lists, guys. I'm going to start off with NEO. Okay, so NEO had an inside bar. If you guys are brand new to this channel, I'm going to talk to you guys about inside bars. If you've been here with me for a while, bear with me. You guys all know about the inside bars already. So the inside bars, or this yellow bar that you see, and this yellow bar is painted yellow because of a Strat indicator that I've created, and it's all the Strat indicators built into one indicator for TradingView, including this time frame continuity and the candlestick numbers and the white outside bars and a bunch of other things. Sarah Strat Sniper's 50% rule. But when you see this yellow bar, which represents an inside bar or a 1 bar, meaning it's a consolidating bar. It doesn't break the high and it doesn't break the low of the previous candle. It stays within the range of this candle right here. It doesn't break the high or it doesn't break the low. And if I zoom in on this and I actually show you guys what's happening here, it actually causes, and I've started to say this recently, an inverse broadening formation. Okay? So you see what happens there. That's the tightening range. It gets smaller and smaller. And then eventually when this candle opens up here, we're expecting a break to the high side or the low side. So anytime you have that inside bar, I want you guys to think of a spring being tightened and loaded and compacted. And when you let go of that inside bar, when you let go of that spring, you expect to see an explosion up to one side or the other. And the probabilities of that happening are high. And all we have to do is go back in time and take a look at how the inside bars react. And you can see here, like, I guess this one gapped down, so we can't really look at that one because of the gaps. If you want to know how to play the morning gaps, then you can go and check out the watch list at the end of this video. Most of these look like they're gapping, but even though they're gapping, guys, you can see the potential of these inside bars and how the following bar after the inside bar, whether it's on a day setup or an hourly or a 30-minute or the 15-minute, you can see how they break. They have these extremely big breaks to the upside, to the downsides. Okay, here's another one, big break to the upside. And does it always happen that way? No, it doesn't. Like here we got caught with an outside bar, a 3 bar, this white bar here after this inside bar. And it doesn't, again, it doesn't always happen that way, but the probability of it happening is very, very high. So now with any strategy, this one or any other strategy you're looking at, it's all probability based. And the reason I say that, and most people won't tell you this, but it's probability based because nobody knows what this next candlestick is going to be. They can tell you what it should be, or what it probably will be, but they don't know. Nobody knows what the next candle is going to be. We don't know what the market's going to do as retail traders. So we base our trades, our strategies off of probabilities, and we don't jump into that trade and use that trade unless it does what it says it's going to do. So we're not front running this to the upside. We're not front running puts on this. We're waiting till it breaks the trigger. So calls at 11.95, puts at 11.36, and then we're looking for this thing. The candlesticks tell the story here, guys. You just need to be able to read the tea leaves that they're giving to you. Okay, so read the candles. This candle is saying if you break to the high side, buy calls. If I hit targets, I've done my job. You can take profit. Okay, that's how an inside bar works, and that's how all candles work. Candles work, they tell a story. They tell you when to buy and they tell you when to sell. You don't need all those other indicators. You don't need the RSI and the MACD and whatever else you guys want to say. Bull flags, bear flags. You don't need it. Okay? All you need is the candlesticks. And I tell you guys this all the time. When you simplify trading, trading becomes simplified. This stuff doesn't need to be hard. I've tried to learn a lot of different strategies, and this one is by far comes out as the easiest. By far. Okay, so let's go next to Airbnb. So Airbnb had a 2 up, this candle right here, and we finished red, meaning that we finished to the downside. Now when that happens, we have a up candle, a 2 up, a directional candle to the upside. We're going to look if that finishes red. Probabilities tell us that that is going to continue to trend down. Now, it doesn't always happen. Here's an example right here. This was a 2 up that finished red, and we just continued up green. Okay, another 2 up. So it doesn't mean it's going to happen, but probabilities, guys. So that's what we're showing here is the probability of this trade happening are very, very high. The other thing that we notice here, time frame continuity, part of that Strat indicator I talked about, that is telling you this thing is going down. There's sellers right across the board except on this quarterly chart. So we can look for puts at 106.83, and then our target just goes to the bottom. I'm going to make that green because that's what I make my targets in. That just goes to the bottom of the next candle or the next wick, and then the bottom of the next candle or the wick, and so on and so forth as we move down. AMC has an inside bar, so you guys know about these already. Calls at 8.19, puts at 7.46. The targets are marked out for you guys. You guys can do the same. And I want to tell you, within this list, guys, there's a couple gems. There's a couple double inside bars that we're going to go over. Okay, next up, AMD, 2 up, finished red. So we can look for puts on AMD at $76.33. CL, Colgate Palmolive, inside bar, calls at 75.92, puts at 74.58. Here's one of the ones I was talking about. So double inside bars, they're very, very rare. And realistically, you're still trading this inside bar. You're looking for calls off of the trigger or puts off of the trigger to the downside, and you still have the same targets. Now, we do have full time frame continuity. So puts are looking very probable here at $12.30 as our trigger and our target at $12.10. So if I'm looking at this trade, my strike price is going to be $12.50 or $12, somewhere in that range, and I will take the closest expiry. You can take the second closest expiry if you'd like. I'm comfortable with taking the closest one. And like I said, these double inside bars are very rare. They don't happen very often. So again, what we've got, if I show you what we had before, we've got these 2 straight days of consolidation, okay? And so we're looking to break out. It's been a tightening range. And when you tighten something and put pressure on it and release it, that thing explodes, just like a spring. So if we go back in time to see the last time we had a double inside bar, I can find it easily because the Strat indicator that I created highlights them in blue. Okay, so we have to go, man, how far back? You notice the gold ones? That's the 3-1 setups, letting you know where the 3-1 setups are or were. Here we go, Lucid, all the way back to March of 2021. So it's been over a year since we've had a double inside bar on the daily on Lucid. And let's go see what happened. Okay, and guys, this is I haven't looked at this, I don't know, but this is no coincidence that we have this really big run, because the probabilities tell us when we are consolidating for 2 straight days, you can expect a big break. So what happens? We open, we triggered, we target, we target, we target, and a continuation even higher than that. So this double inside bar setup was phenomenal. You would have made a phenomenal amount of money on that trade if you would have played the double inside bars. So again, I don't give the top 5 away in here. I give them as part of the Griswold Gold membership. I will give you a hint. Double inside bar on Lucid, full time frame to the downside, that thing's going to be on there, okay? That will be part of the top 5. I just gave you one for free. Okay, let's move on to MU. There is still another double inside bar play in here. You're going to have to wait for it, though. I'm not sure exactly where it is. So MU, 2 up, finish red. We're going to look for puts at 62.42. And first target, just like that, at $60.99. That is good magnitude to the downside. Okay, it's $1.50. I like to see that magnitude. The ones where there's a tight space between the trigger and the target, I don't like those as much. A lot of times what happens is it'll hit those targets and it'll reverse and you'll never see them again. So Nike 2 up red as well, puts at 105.53. The dollar values I'm calling out, guys, are on the right-hand side here, where the mouse is currently. First target's at 104.32. We move into PayPal, 2 up red on PayPal. So PayPal, we can look for puts at 89.29 and first target at 88.92. So this is one of the ones I was talking about. We have 37 cents between the trigger and the target. And I'll tell you what, here, a lot of times what happens is, if we open up, okay, a lot of times what happens is we hit that target. Like you see there, we come through that target and it reverses. And we will never see this downside again on that day. So I want you guys to be very cautious of the plays that look like this. And this is not to say that this play cannot continue down to hit the second target, but a lot of times what happens is we'll hit that first target and then you won't see that second target or the first target again that day. Tesla Maesla, 2 up, finish red. We're going to look for puts on this thing at 193, 192.06 right here, and first target's at 186.34. I'll take that magnitude on Tesla. And here was the other double inside bar I was telling you guys about on CVS. Okay, so calls at 98.67. First target here at 98.86, and I would watch this one here, guys. If it goes to the bottom side, the trigger and the target are the same. So realistically, your first target is going to be down here. And you also notice there's a pink line there. That puts us 2 down on the week as well. So we can look for CVS if we trigger to hit first targets down here at 95.07 or 95.05 is what the weekly trigger is. That is on CVS. Would I put that on the top 5? I would put it on there as something to watch. I'm not sure if it's something I would jump into because of the magnitude on it. But in saying that, let's go back and actually look to see the last time CVS had that double inside bar, and we just have to look for that blue highlight. There it is, and we ended up going outside bar. So again, I like going back in time to show you guys this stuff because it shows you guys that what I'm saying is probability based. I don't want to mislead you guys or give you guys false hope that, oh my God, it's a double inside bar, it's a can't miss play. Not true. Okay, so this one gapped down. So you would have had to play a gap on it, and then it ended up going outside bar. So was it a play you could have jumped in? Probably on the gap setup, which I also told you guys there will be a playlist at the end of this video showing you guys how to play those. And here's the next one. So let's go see what this one shows. And again, no false hope here, guys. I'm simply showing you guys past situations of how double inside bars react off of the next candle. Double inside bar. We break this trigger and we hit targets plus. Okay? Another winning trade that would have worked out for you guys on CVS. And that's it. The candles tell you what to do. The easiest strategy you guys will ever find. You want more info on this? Make sure you're in the Discord. That link is in the description below. Join us in that Discord. Apple, 2 up red. We're going to look for puts on Apple at 148.56. Blackberry. Bed Bath & Beyond, 2 up finish red. Funny story, I remember that was the very first stock I ever looked at was BlackBerry, and it was trading at like 110 bucks. I don't even know what it's at now. Comment down below if you know what the BlackBerry stock is at. But I remember looking at it at 110 bucks. I had a BlackBerry, and that's when things were going really well for it, and BlackBerry and Apple were kind of competing. But I remember that was probably in 1990, 2001, probably in and around that range is when I first started getting into trading. I was about 20 years old. We'll move on here though. Bed Bath & Beyond, BBBY, 2 up red. We're going to look for puts at 367. Time frame outside of this week is all to the downside. So this is Monday's bar. This is Tuesday's bar. If we hit first targets, we will be full time frame to the downside on Bed Bath & Beyond. Chevron, this is one that we haven't seen on this watch list yet. Chevron had a 2 down that finished green and a hammer candle. And one of the things I didn't mention to you guys about those inside bars are an actionable signal. And when we're talking about the strat, we have 3 actionable signals. We have the inside bar, we have the hammer candle, which is the body at the top with the big long wick down to the bottom, looks like a hammer. And the third one is a shooter candle, or people call it a shooting star, or a inverse hammer, where this big body is down at the bottom here, and then you have the big wick, just like this one almost. A little bit more of a body, but just like this, where we have this big long wick and the body at the bottom. That's a shooter or an inverse hammer. What we have on Chevron, 2 down, finish green, not red. It's a failed 2. And we look for calls at 188.44, first target 189.68, and the full time frame continuity to the upside when we hit that trigger, okay? That's on CVX. That looks like a good play for Wednesday. 2 up red on lift. Again, we hit first targets on this thing. We're full time frame to the downside. Puts at 13.05. Is that what it is? Let's move this down here. I don't think that's in the right spot. There we go. Puts at 13.05. And first targets at $12.47. Pfizer, inside bar on Pfizer, calls at 49.53, puts at 48.18. Plug Power, PLUG, 2 up red, full time frame to the downside outside of the month. We'll look for puts at 17.34. RBLX, that's Roblox, 2 up red, puts at 36.37. Starbucks, 2 up red. We're going to look for puts on Starbucks at 97.29. This is approaching the top of a broadening formation, so we may just continue to trend up on here and tag the top of that broadening formation and then head back down. We'll see what happens on Starbucks. Moving on, we'll go to XOM. So XOM 3-1 setup. Guys were talking about this in the room the other today on AMD, and he said it that the 3-1 setups seem to be really, really good trades, and they are, guys. They set up nicely, and realistically, you're just trading an inside bar, but it's preceded by an outside bar. So this little golden highlight here will do that for you with the Strat indicator. And if we go back to find the last time where there was a 3-1 setup on XOM, there's another double inside bar that ran for us. Here's the 3-1 setup. Okay, we opened, we triggered, and targets all the way down. Look at how good of a run that was on XOM. Now, that doesn't happen all the time. This was a really good setup. 3-1 setups work well. They're very rare. This one was from May 5th and 6th. So, again, way back at the start of the year in spring when the last time we saw the 3-1 setup on the daily chart. So, again, we'll look for that. Calls at 114.53, puts at 112.87 on XOM. Beyond, that's Beyond Meat. 2 up red, shooter candle. That's the actionable signal. Puts at $15.70. And GM, that's General Motors, 2 up, finish red. We'll look for puts at 40.01. This is what we call a 1-2-2 rev strat. So a 1-2 up, it's a failed 2. And then we're going to look for a 2 down, a 1-2-2 rev strat. The targets are not great on this, guys. So again, I would watch it. The other thing that we see here is we're at the top of a broadening formation on GM. So this BF goes all the way back to here, higher highs to higher highs. We ran through it a couple times, and then the lower lows are all the way from back here. So lower lows, lower lows. And again, we ran through it a couple times, tagged it. And we went from highs to lows to highs to lows to highs to lows, like a heartbeat, and aggregating price. And here we go. We're back to the top of it. Okay, so what happens next? Now that we've tagged the top, we look for that reversal back down to the bottom side, and we have that 1-2-2 rev strat that we look for on GM. Guys, if you like this stuff, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you give me a thumbs up. Follow me on YouTube or on Twitter at Mr. Clark Griswold. Get in on the Discord so we can learn and earn together. Make sure you're watching the playlist at the end. Top right is the videos for when we gap up in the morning or gap down in the morning. Bottom right will help you guys out with your learning tools. And there's one with an interview with Robert Kiyosaki on there as well about a market crash and what we're likely headed for or could possibly be headed for. So thank you guys. I wish you nothing but the best. I wish you green. And good luck trading on Wednesday, guys. Bye-bye.